Hey, welcome back to Taking Trades. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Jimmy, and this YouTube channel is dedicated to day trading, where I like to show live trades, my entries, my exits, and then just talk about trading in general. So today is January 30th, 2019. February is upon us, and we had a huge evening last night. So about 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time yesterday, we hit 100 subscribers. So I want to thank you all so much. That means so much to me that we've broke that level. And then by the time I went to bed last night, we had 103 subscribers. So let's keep moving in that direction, and we'll just kind of see where this channel goes. So today, trading-wise, I took one trade on UGAZ and ended up being a green trade that I'll jump into in this video. But I also wanted to point out how choppy-ish natural gas was this morning. So if you looked at it and just saw it pinballing just back and forth ever since, almost I think 1 a.m., the futures for natural gas /NG, they were just pinballing around, not doing a whole lot other than touching the top, touching the bottom, touching the top, touching the bottom. But here's the thing, that's super valuable because you're establishing a pattern. So the direction is not up, it's not down, the direction's sideways. Sideways is okay if it's establishing sort of a historical plan here. If it's touching a certain point at the top and then pulling back to the bottom to support and then going back to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, that's okay. We can work with that. So this morning when I identified that the direction was sideways, I decided I'd wait around and take an entry on UGAZ when it became oversold down at its support level. And I had a subscriber recently ask me if I'd do a video on support and resistance, and this might actually be a good example. So to the subscriber that reached out and asked about that, this is going to kind of address that. I can do another separate video in the future about support and resistance, but today was actually a decent example. So the market opened on UGAZ, and it continued. Natural gas just continued to track in that sideways sort of channel. So when I took my trade, I entered at the low point off of support, and then just set a nice stop, set a target, a limit to sell, and then I just waited around. And it chopped around a few times, pulled all the way back just above my stop a couple of different times, but I just stayed in the trade, just let everything work, kept working its way up, and then we got a rush of volume, we got a pop, and my limit to sell activated, and I ended up in the green today. So thank you guys for stopping by. Again, hit that subscribe button, give me the thumbs up. Let's keep growing this channel. I appreciate all the interaction in the comments. That's been super positive and really engaging. And thank you for all the tips and tricks that you guys are sharing in the comments. It's really helping me out a lot. So thank you so much. So with that, let's go ahead, let's jump into the trade. Okay, let's jump into this trade. So this morning when I woke up, I was looking at /NG, which is the natural gas futures. And you can see here at the start of Wednesday, right around midnight, it had a sell-off down to the bottom VWAP. And then as you notice, it just started to pinball around. It was moving from the bottom VWAP to the midpoint, setting a high point, a low point, a high point, a low point, and just pinballing back and forth. And then went back, reached the top VWAP, and then a breakdown to the bottom VWAP. So it's just kind of been pinballing along. And like I said in the intro, the direction wasn't up, the direction wasn't down, the direction was sideways, and that's still a valid direction. So we can take advantage of the tops and the bottoms on both DGAZ and UGAZ just because it's moving sideways. So if I flip over to UGAZ, you can see this morning where it opened up at 2 a.m. and then sort of these faint ticker points down here touched the bottom VWAP and then started to move back across the midpoint all the way to the top and then return back to the bottom of the channel and then almost to the top, and here's where you get that chop that happened pre-market with a push back up to the top and then a sell-off back to the bottom VWAP again. So as the market opened this morning, it was sort of, if you look at the RSI indicator, it was a little bit overbought. And so it immediately pulled back down touched the bottom VWAP, came back up to the middle, and then sold off one more time. And then you can see right in this area, as it touched the bottom VWAP and the RSI showed that it was oversold, that's where I went ahead and took an entry. And I got in at 38.28 with 75 shares. And then I just went ahead and set my stop immediately below. And so I had a subscriber who asked me to do a support and resistance video, and this trade was actually a really good example. So I could make a separate video in the future about support and resistance, but for now I'm just going to grab my rectangle tool here and draw out what I was looking at this morning. So, and actually we can take it further back. So the nice thing about today was the pre-market stayed within this channel, but then when the market opened, you could truly tell that the direction was sideways because we didn't get any variance up or down. It all stayed together. The channel just continued on into the market activity. So what I like to do is take my tool and pick out sort of the lowest current point of this support area that I'm going to draw out. And then I basically will bring that up and try to capture as many touches as possible where the stock sold off. So about like that. So now what I have is a white bar that is basically including a series of touches on a support level before it then moved away. So you get a touch here in the pre-market, pushed back up, a touch here, another one in the pre-market, pushed all the way to the top of the channel. Then the market opens, touches again and pushes away, touches a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, and pushes all the way up. So when it pulled back here and touched this support point, I went ahead and entered. That's where I took the 75 shares. And then what I like to do is, because this bar is a range, no support level is ever one penny amount. It's never an exact line. It's sort of a range. So the way I drew this out, it's sort of anywhere from 38.20 to 38.09. So that's kind of our range. So when I bought my 75 shares here, I placed my stop just outside of this range. So I'm safely below it. So I won't get stopped out inadvertently. So then we moved ahead, and you can see where it sort of rode this bottom area and even entered into the range a little bit, but because I was stopped below it, I wasn't in any danger of getting stopped out early. So we got to this point, we got a nice push up, it crossed the middle VWAP, got a pullback, and hindsight says that I should have added 75 more shares here as we pulled back into the VWAP and tested it, because then we went higher, and then it sort of rode back and forth along the EMA. And then what I had in place was a target. I had a stop limit order as a sell target. So my stop loss was here, my purchase was here, and then I had a target that was set up here. So as we rode along, that target was always there. And with this pump in volume, you can see the volume spiked right here at 9.11 and 9.12. That shoved the price up, and then on this candle where it blew upward, it crossed my stop limit order, and on that one trade I booked profit of $50.25. So really good trade. I was really excited about it, and you can see it continued later to push up even higher. So kind of an interesting play there. But to go back to the subscriber that asked about support and resistance, so I drew the support out here. But then you might be asking, where's the resistance point? And the reason you want to have a resistance point is so that you know where you should reasonably be taking profit. Or you could run the risk of it bouncing and pulling back down, and then you exit the trade with no profit. So I'll do the same thing up here. I'll grab the pre-market bar and this market bar right at the top, and then I'll come down here and I'll grab, well, beforehand, I guess I was probably doing, we'll grab that one there. I'll grab this one here. So right there. So it's a little wider range, but you can see I got a touch here. I got one there, two here, a couple there, and one here. So it's a nice resistance point. So you can see every time that this price action reaches this resistance level, it pushes right back down. Comes up, touches it, gets pushed back down. Does it again here. This time it goes all the way down, touches the support level, bounces, goes right back up to resistance. So it's just it's ping-ponging around between support and resistance. So it just keeps doing that over and over. So when I got the push down into this support level, that was a comfortable buy, and then holding for it to keep pushing up. It kept showing momentum, so I was comfortable holding it. It wasn't turning back on me. And even if it did, and I got stopped out, my risk is really controlled. So it's basically letting it run all the way up or letting it come down and stop me out. So with that push up here, I got my sell, and then you can see it went up higher. It went into the range right here. So it's completely moving from one end to the other, you know, given enough time. And then here we had a breakout. So this would be a whole different scenario of moving to another area where this resistance level would become a support level after this breakout. But we can get into that at another time. So anyway, that was my trade on UGAZ for today. Sideways channel action, stayed the same going into the market open. Took a nice trade at the bottom, sold at the top, had a clear resistance level, a really clear support level, and it sort of went as planned. So let me know what you guys traded today. I want to hear if you guys were red, if you were green. Ask me any questions if you have them. And if you'd like to see more information about support and resistance, just drop a comment below and let me know, and I can do more videos on that. But I thought this was a sort of a nice example of that. So anyway, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.